So we're here with TSM versus Team Liquid. Game number 3, 2-0 for TSM right now. We have our coach and our head coach, the Immortal Object, and he was in pro play. So please introduce yourself, Immortal Object.
Hey guys, how you doing? I've been doing some work in LAN, best region ever to have existed, and now it's dead. And also I worked a little bit in LCL with Team Just. So without further ado, because that's the past and we want to worry about the future and getting you better, we're just gonna do a review of these games right here. So let's just start thinking about like what are the teams thinking right now, right? So your TSM, you want to start transitioning, you want to finish the game 3-0. Then again, you gotta remember, like at this point, Team Liquid is 0-2, which means this is do or die, which means they have nothing to lose at this point, right?
Yeah.
Nothing. There's nothing else to lose. Nothing else. So they just so you can be sure that they're gonna put everything else in the riff right now. And yeah, so we're gonna start seeing the riff. We're gonna start seeing. Okay, we have a standard. Skarner starts on blue. We have Rek'Sai starts on red. And the compositions. Did we went over like picks and bans for this one?
We didn't go through picks and bans, but we
We
know
didn't get
that
through picks and
they.
bans, but for the most part, they have that Varus Tom Kinch in the bot lane looking to play safe.
Yeah.
It's going to stop most of the Galio engages with Kalista, but TSM's going to look good in team fights with that Kalista Galio, but in lane, it's probably going to be a stagnant lane. Top, both scaling matchups, Vlad's in the scale, Gamefly's in the scale.
I like right here what the two junglers do. This is actually one of the things that I do normally in the coaching. That is like you take before you take any of other camps, you take that red, and then you go straight into the camp. You wait for a little bit, see if they waste their spells, because then you can actually efficiently go and get it. So Varus is abusing here now the long range that he can potentially have into the
With the double
Kalista,
lift.
and yeah, because that's what they want to do. They just want to abuse this, and they don't want to hit that, because if that Kalista Galio gets going, you're just not gonna have a good time.
It's true. It's one of the strongest lanes. Even it was played in the LPL many times. You can see a lot of abusers for it in the LPL. For example, Imp from Team JDG. You can also see that Core JJ finally is on his Tom Kench, and that's also a good matchup. That's also a good lane, sorry, because Varus really needs a lot of peeling, and Tom Kench has a get out of jail free cut. We talked about that in game
Yeah,
number 1.
I like what TSM is doing though. Like good neutral control within the top side, and then also you have like Liquid. They want to control a little bit of the bot side, but they do have that dot bush warded right there,
Yeah,
because they want to on the bot
And the
side.
picture brush is a good
Yeah,
word to have.
yeah. So then they have good wards right there from pretty much. So I don't know. Like it feels like ESM has an advantage right here in control, other than those deep wards that you can actually see that Team Liquid has within, and they want to just protect it. So once again, you can see how like they put so much more priority in protecting double lift with the wards that Team Liquid actually is placing, because that's kind of like, I guess, like their win condition, the
double
double
lift.
lift effect. Yeah, that guy is just so good, man.
Well, he wasn't so
So
good in the game before that because he picked Ash with teleport.
He go for it.
that's not his issue. That's the issue from the coaching staff. Bad
Yes,
draft. Better
that's
drafter wins.
that's also correct, I guess, because players do not have a lot of control on what they pick because at the end of the day, it's for the coach to go to. But you were right about the deep wars that Korg JJ went to put on early on in the game as protection for the double lift. And you can talk about the mid lane matchup as well. So Syndra goes for the ultimate sustain with the corrupting potion and 2 dark seals, and the cookie, and also perfect timing rune. Meanwhile, the LeBlanc, in a matchup that she tends to lose, in my opinion, is going for the null magic mantle early on and the single dark seal. So what do you think about the mid lane
Top
matchup?
top lane's pretty standard. You got the Vladimir going that Doran shield to prevent the Q harass when it's early game.
Mm-hmm.
Gameplay
Mm.
does want to get a lot of Qs in, so he does go for that
Opting for the
Sheen.
Shin for
But
sustain and cooldown reduction, plus the double damage.
Oh, here we go. I don't know. I think if you're gonna go for like biscuit, I think you should go like time war tonic. Like
Yes.
that's what I think though. Like if you want to maximize on that, it's just like such a good quality of lane life. Like, I mean, I think it's a waste, but I mean, hey, what do I know, right?
Yes, you're
Um,
absolutely right. You maximize your corrupting potion, you maximize the healing on the H potion that you use, and the biscuits too. But as you can see,
Pretty interesting
Jensen.
here. Yeah, yeah. Look at how they're playing. You know, this is one thing that like everybody can take away from this. It's just like notice how those each one of them, like Bjergsen was playing towards the top side and Jensen was playing towards the bot side. It's because like their junglers were there, you know.
Hmm.
And it's like sometimes it's telegraphed, but like playing towards the side of the lanes, you guys gotta remember for mid laners, it's really important that you do that because it's gonna help you out. So see, your core JJ is going super hard because you know they got this, and
Oh,
boom, first blood TSM, super nice,
Very nice.
and you know, and they also have like the gangplank ultimate from Team Liquid to actually potentially do something, but it's not enough. You know, it's just like good standard thing right there. Jensen starting to harass the Mr. Burger King.
hmm.
It's it's pretty good.
So one
And
thing
also
over
like
that. Sorry, continue.
yeah. No, no, I just find it interesting that both top laners are going like super late game insurance. You know, it's obvious that you know both teams have faith in their top laners as well because they're going like so you're going utility DPS for utility DPS for double lift. You know, then you're going like really nice safety with core JJ. Then you're going like hyper scaling with the
Varus.
GP insurance, and then you're going like early skirmishes like both teams are like very balanced, you know, and then it's just I don't know, like team fights are just better. I guess TSM play towards Team Liquid's team fights because otherwise I don't know. Flanks are just good.
The
They're
flanking
just good.
from the both top laners, as you mentioned, are really insanely strong. But to touch on the earlier fight that happened in the bot side, do you think that Core JJ would have been able to activate his E if Varus stepped into the Core JJ's range of the Guardian? Because we saw that Varus didn't try to proc in Guardian, and I feel that Core JJ could have survived, and this fight would have been a different fight had he been able to use his Grey Health. Well, here you can see the ult from the Varus, the instant flash smoothie W gets chewed by the Tom Kench, and that's a disengage.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that like they're just playing like you see how core JJ is like pretty much like they're willing to sacrifice him. Like they're willing to sacrifice him, and that's just like that's a good support. You know, it's like okay, they got 2 kills on it. You know, but it's I think it's like not worth it for the. I guess that like Team Liquid didn't want to lose the experience within Double Lift because he's like you don't want Double Lift falling behind because he's such a good DPS dealer that it's okay, you know, because he knows he can make up for that. And I mean, and for all that it's worth, it's still like ooh the 1v1
The
here,
one.
and here it comes.
And there comes the
Oh
KDN.
TSM.
Oh, the flash.
Very nice
But
though.
here we go with Mr. Smitty.
So they can.
Smithy
Yeah.
cannot opt out for the
Yeah,
ultimate, a
Smith
bit too
playing
far.
Skarner is actually really good because he gets to pick off certain champions in team fights, and I think that's one of the huge engagement potentials that they have with this team. It's not going to be the
I mean, with
main
Skarner, it's not a
focus this
potential, it's just a click. He clicks on the priority target that he wants, and the target is basically dead. And even if his Skarner goes into late game and they have QSS or Banshee's Veils on 5 members, these are 5 unideal items that they may have to get. It's like wasted gold, but not really wasted, it's just the
corner.
tax
Yeah,
that you pay.
Yeah, it's kind of like when Mausahar was in meta. How kind of
Hmm.
like the yeah. But look at the vision that TSM has though. Like that's like the control that TSM has within the map early within like the first 10 minutes. Like look at like even that deep ward that they have over there in
Red
Team
Jungle.
Liquid's like red jungle, and how protected they have like especially their mid side. I mean, you can definitely tell like the styles that they're playing. So like TSM, they're putting a lot more into Bjergsen and protecting the mid lane because you know I mean mid lane most important tower. At the same time that Team Liquid puts a lot more pressure and a lot more priority into defending double up, you know, because they have faith into him and how he's gonna carry the team towards their victory. And where it's like, well,
yeah,
you
that
know,
was a pretty good win condition for the team that did this game.
yep.
And that's why
And I
TSM.
guess
Yes,
no,
you can continue.
no,
Sorry.
no, no. I just find it very interesting, you know, because like Vision tells you a lot about like where the like in competitive. Synchronized teams tells you a lot of like where they're gonna try to go into it, and I found that like within like series to series, like after the first game, it can tell you a lot about where you want to go and what lanes you should like prioritize. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw it, but today's G2 games, funnel, baby. That was amazing game two. They did so good.
We saw the
I
Zaya
like.
funneling around the map while
Yeah.
getting the caps, and
Ooh.
there goes the engaged Tiam Kent, really broken champion. Get out of
Get out of
Frigid
Frigid
Carl.
card.
And there comes Smithy,
Look at
tries
that.
to save the
Boom.
ultimate.
Double lift gets it. Just because you see what I'm saying? Like they're willing to sacrifice everything, and Core JJ is just like literally like look at that instant rotation into there. Now they got him trapped, and Jensen is ahead in the rotation. Even though he's going, he's just zoning at this point to the blank. So
Oh,
double lift is gonna die either way. I think it's like the collapse. They maybe went a little bit too much for what they could, but secondary win condition Jensen, it's okay. He can do good things there. I mean,
P-
in the end, I think that was like I think Team Liquid maybe overreached a little bit for it. They could have potentially got a lot better picks from it,
For the
but I
most
mean,
part, I mean, they are making the correct plays to get them through the mid game.
yeah,
and now
that's
we
what they
can
really
see
want.
that the engage on Core JJ, LeBlanc with the chains going, the Great Health activates, and Smoothie comes back. Core JJ gets busted one more time. I think he was sacrificed for the Scuttle Crab.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's still gonna die though, and like
Yeah,
you don't want to have a fit Syndra, and so your Smoothie is dead at this point, and Jensen now has 2 kills now. Now
yeah,
he has got 1-1.
because Core
So
JJ
I
took
mean,
that kill earlier.
yeah. But like then again, like it's team fight front to back for Team Liquid. It's just gonna be like so much stronger, and you're gonna have if double lift, which he can because he's demonstrated this time and time again throughout his competitive career. If you see like all he has to do is just deny the Vladimir flank with his ultimate, and he's fine. Look at this. This is so good. Boom, save it. It's okay. He takes all the damage.
The
He
heal and
just
flash
immediately
comes
heals
in,
back. Boom,
and
boom.
then he gets in the
See,
kill.
so see right here, I think maybe they would have just. I think they overflanked there. I mean, they had
By
it.
the ult of the Abyssal Voyage, I guess. That's what you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It was like it's just not necessary. I think it would have just been better. You have over there just pressure with 4, especially because you have the TP of Gangplank, and then if they try to collapse, then have the TP of the Gangplank right there, and then just collapse towards the bot, so you can keep on protecting it because now you're gonna have the CC from the Syndra. I mean, they still come out ahead and they're getting there, but so now they're gonna dive top.
It could have
How does
maximized the.
Oh my God,
Oh.
Mr. Impact, world champion, unlucky. Oh, but here comes Mr. Smitty.
Smithy comes in with the Skana. But yeah, I agree with the point that you were saying that they have the advantage. They should just get out and not risk anything any further. Even though it's better to abuse their lead, it's better just to save it and not give anything to TSM because as you can see that the amount of champions that scale on Team Liquid's side is higher than the amount of champions that scale on TSM's side because LeBlanc falls at the late game. Rek'Sai doesn't do that well, and Kalista does not scale comparatively well to the Varus. So therefore, that risk was really unnecessary. So why risk something that you don't need initially and just not stop TSM from the game? You can see that Team Liquid is leading only by 200 gold.
Yeah, I mean maybe they could have even more ahead because like they could have just like forced, especially since they were already like I'm guessing they were communicating that. I mean, if you're ready to commit 5 members, why just not go for like 2, 3 platings or just like finish the tower bot and unlock double it from there and just start getting him ahead. Even if his share gold, just get him, get there, get out of third range, and start giving him that full third plate and go towards double lift, accelerate his build. I mean
And
that would have just been a more optimum play, but again, you know they're against the ropes, and you got to also consider the mental aspect of all of this. And now, what is this happening here? Look at that again. Look at the priority now. How they keep on putting the priority within bot lane, within the wards, just to protect their bot lane, because they just want to keep on promoting that. They just want to let this guy scale. And
yeah,
but Team Liquid is starting to take control also of neutral control river towards crab side and top, and yeah, I mean, Laddie is just pushing the the freaking GP because he's ahead now. But I mean, it's still good because he's still gonna scale, and I guess
Acadian goes for the
Team Liquid
dragon.
should know.
Team Liquid
Yeah,
do
they
not know
should
this
know
because
here.
of
Are they
the
gonna just
control
give this
wards.
up?
I think they have to. I mean,
They're
they
off
have too many
position.
broken blades, so they
Yeah.
can't take this fight.
I guess that's the other cool part about, and you see, that's the other cool part about like champions like Kalista. It just gives you so control of like neutral monsters. It's like a Nunu but different. Good luck outsmiting that.
Well, Xmithy would actually need it, since he really cannot outsmite a Kalista in the Baron pit if she has like 20 auto attacks on the Baron. She deals more damage than the smite. Broken Blades get collapsed on, but I guess he'll survive that one.
Playing Blythe's very safe under tower, very safe under farming. Very
He's
hard to
not
kill
pressured.
Broken.
He's not pressured to
Especially
do
with that
anything.
early Doran shield. That Doran shield actually stopped most of the harass in the early game.
Hmm.
That's why he could have fought very well in the very well in this mid game right now. Dude, I like to
Acadian.
play TSM. Play topside though. Lots very hard to make engages on.
We see Xmithy giving blue buff to the Syndra, something mid laners in Summoner's Rift don't do a lot. Skana just prefers to take blue buff, and Syndra would run out of mana. All blue buff is on both mid
Yeah, that's a
laners.
good thing. That's a good thing though. But like, you gotta remember, if you're in solo queue and like, if your mid laner is demanding blue buff, like consider whether or not it's worth it for you to give it. Because if you're snowballing with a champion like Jarvan, which you should be playing in the jungle or something like that, I mean, if your mid laner is consistently dying, maybe you're just like leashing and giving a free blue buff towards the enemy blue. But if he's actually winning the lane, consider actually giving him the blue buff, because that's just putting, give him the blue buff, go and gank him, and that's just gonna help you win more games in solo queue.
Yes, that's
Oh,
correct.
another trade comes at top.
Yeah, it's
Impact.
also looking for a dive here. Yeah.
And you can see Core JJ
Get out
instantly
of
saving.
Core JJ with the double flash. Double lift with the flash as well.
Yeah.
Late heal on double lift for however, but since he still lives, it's okay if Core JJ dies. Yeah.
It's a sacrifice for the team. That's part of being support.
Yeah. And look at the farm difference between the ADCs. I mean, double lift gets to free farm. Play like Varus, most effective way you can. Just a free harassment you, and then
And this is the thing. The TSM bot lane should have won this matchup, since Varus is weak to the Kalista. But Core JJ played and avoided fights so well this game that he nullified the early advantage of Kalista. And now we are going into the Varus realm. A Varus that is not dying to what he's supposed to be dying to. Impact flashes out, uses his W to live.
Yep. I mean, he doesn't have a choice there, but I mean, that's kind of like what I was talking to you about. Like, maybe Doublelift could have walked up, and this goes back to all that thing at the beginning where maybe Doublelift could have walked over and proc the Guardian, but is it really worth it? All you want him is to keep scaling, keep scaling. Eventually, he's gonna be fine. The Kalista, yes, he's strong, but like even here,
if he actually landed that Q, that would have been a trade kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a trade kill. But it's like, all right, it's not a big deal. Whatever, next play, next play.
And you can see that the gold lead is not balanced out right now. If you consider the champions that on
extra kills that TSM had, the gold is pretty
the
even.
the farm difference
they're
from
not at the
Varus.
spot they want to be at. Yeah, they're not at the spot that they want to be at, just because like now we're getting to the 20 minutes realm, and this is when the champions is like, well, they probably have like 5-7 more minutes, and if they don't start really getting like super ahead, the game starts now spiraling out of control, because that's when like Skarner really comes online, Gangplank starts coming online, Trinity Force completed, Syndra now has the looting completed, she has her stopwatch now to do a good play. Double lift is working on the second item.
Speaking about double lift,
get there. Whoa, and Mr. Core JJ, God, that guy's so good, and look at that, he's willing to sacrifice himself.
a Grey Health this time comes online and he survives, does he? Oh no, Sven goes for the Rend. Smoothie for the trade kill.
That's one, that's two.
GP with the double.
Yeah.
LeBlanc kills the Jensen. But TL Impact is still there.
Double lift out again, very nice. And then, the team gets to make plays in the top section of the jungle.
Oh.
Can't really do much.
Broken Blade is going on the Gangplank. He has a level advantage on top of him. Acadian is there. Impact dies a solo queue death, to be honest.
And that's just because he overpushed,
Yes.
And that's something you guys gotta remember as top laners. If they're invading your jungle, you guys gotta respect that, because yes they have some vision there, but they potentially have some vision there, and if a play just happened there, it's like prep, play, recover, like identify, prepare, position, execute, and then adapt. This is the original play where it starts, right? They do it, they come over here, they get it. Core JJ is gonna die. He's just making time. Everybody's collapsing here, and it's just gonna potentially just be a 5v5 within the blue side red quadrant jungle. But at the same time, like after this is all said and done, after this fight is done, they ended up going even 2 for 2. Right now, who came out ahead in that play? I mean, they killed the mid laner, and then they killed the ADC, and they killed the bot lane for TSM, whereas they killed the support and the mid laner for Team Liquid. But at the end of the road, TSM starts to get a little bit more gold, and that's why they're starting to force. It's kind of like what we're talking about right before that play happened. It's like they don't have that much time left because they have to start coming online, or they're gonna start suffering the consequences of the composition that they pick. And this is kind of like why you also see that at a point now we're getting to a point where like the only thing they're really gonna be able to do is just make a massive team fight where the Vladimir comes online, and he's okay. He's doing good, you know. But he until he gets like his third item, probably like the death cap, that's when he's actually gonna start being a threat. But then again, all Double Lift has to do is just press R at the right time, and then his initiation completely gets denied. If the Vladimir gets blown up at that point, then TSM is in trouble. But they do have 2 wins now, so they can definitely rotate a lot quicker now, and they have an advantage in structure. They're starting to go for deep vision so that Vladimir can actually start even like potentially splitting, and you can actually see the protection that the Team Liquid is putting towards towards where the in that bush right there with the bears is at on top,
Yeah.
towards the mid lane on the left. Just because they want to protect that mid tower, because they know, right? They know if that mid tower falls,
They're
uh,
gonna force Baron.
not only that, but they can collapse on their side laners and so much quicker. And that's like the last primary structure that they have. And like at this point, having defended that structure for so long is probably the reason why Team Liquid is still in the game. Because had that turret fallen already, it's a lot easier for the TSM composition to just completely collapse on them, no matter what. And not even Core JJ Semi Global can actually match that, just because it's so much easier to rotate with 2 Wind Dragons.
Yes, you're right. But can you please give us a comment on the choice of boots that Team Liquid has went for against the blonde of Vladimir? Isn't it really weird to go for Ninja Tabis rather than Mercury Trust? You can see the Jensen going for the Mercury Trust. Why didn't Double Lift go for the same? Or the
Because
Skana?
he's going. I mean, because he's worried about the Rek'Sai. He's worried about the Rek'Sai, and he knows that they are gonna try to blow him up, and he has the faith on his support that his support is gonna probably protect them. Whereas Syndra, towards positioning, is willing to take more of the trades towards the LeBlanc. Whereas the most concerning part is probably the execution bonus, or execution potential that the Rek'Sai will have on double lift. If he falls there, he's not gonna be able to actually lifesteal back up into the game. But if the team fight starts falling off and he can actually kill the Rek'Sai once he goes for him, just because he has the tabis, then he can start healing. The passive on the barrier starts proccing, then he can just win the team fight by himself. I think
Mm.
that's why he went for that.
Well, I think now
You
it
know,
makes a lot
because
more sense than you put it that way,
yeah,
because Rek'Sai is the main diver, as you can see in all of these fights against the Varus, and KoJJ is saving him from Rek'Sai most of the time. LeBlanc is more likely nullified by the Syndra, so that's why she has to go through the Syndra first, but Rek'Sai can just go into the ground and pop up the Varus by his W.
yeah,
Yeah, that alt execution on Rek'Sai
Mm-hmm.
really,
yeah,
really
it's a problem. It's a problem because he can go execution. He can go execution into Galio ultimate into knockup, and so that becomes an issue.
Oh,
Oh,
and the KDN
very
gets
smart.
rolled.
Oh, that semi ult from
yeah,
very nice.
semi-global, and you see it now, and you see this is where they should not be fighting, because see now double lift. Now you see how he's positioning himself, and he knows that, and that's why he can kill them now, because it's like if they can keep him alive and they fight in close corridors like that with his ultimate that he has, he can just do whatever he wants, and you can see just how much they're playing towards double lift in here by just by the boots they're buying, because they want to protect them, and Gangplank is willing to take trades towards the Vladimir. Also, he's kind of forced to go that because he's gonna be dealing with the Vladimir as well as with the LeBlanc. Whereas what the most concerned thing for the Varus is being able to like potentially land a crucial CC within the Callista and or the Rek'Sai whenever they try to dive him, so he can do something and actually start getting ahead in the game. And now the gold differential is starting to like go back, whereas it was like 2,000 gold like just a couple minutes ago. Now we're starting to get even into it, and now look at that, it's only 100 gold, and now
Well, now
this
it's
is in
ahead.
trouble. Now TSM here, now they're in trouble because it's 25 minutes and they're even on gold.
And you can see
And
the Hex Drinker
The
You can,
composition is catching up. Yeah.
Yeah,
you can see the
it's just
Hexdrinker
like
being
look at
bought.
this. Look at this. Immediately come over here. Boom. They get him. You got her. I got you, boy. You know, slow from the gangplank. They get him. Then they're repositioning. Double lift is like, all right, I'm going to take the vision first. This is the most important part. No unnecessary risk. We got one. Just start peeling back. We got this, guys. All right, guys. Let's just start pushing it now. You know, boom.
Yeah.
Super
So now,
easy.
if you were TSM, what's your win condition? What would you do if you were TSM in this position?
You need to camp. You need to camp and you need to just set up a pick. You need to set up a pick and potentially just deny the barriers. Because, like, if you take away the barriers, you
And
know, then
there's the
it
Vladimir
becomes a
going
lot
onto
easier.
the onto the double lift. Then he gets chased off by Smithy. Broken Blade heals up. Ult from Smithy comes in, and
Broken
Broken
Blade was
Blade
a very aggressive
dies.
play. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was. Yeah, he was looking to take out double lift, and then they probably could have gotten a force after that. But
But there's
oh,
no more options that are happening for TSM right now. You can see that the
yeah.
instant
Right now,
instant
TSM's in a
exhaust.
very precarious.
Yeah. Instant exhaust from Core JJ really denies the LeBlanc her engage. And the Hexdrinker on Varus, really hard to kill right now. Sven doesn't deal that much damage anymore. And LeBlanc needs a lot of time to set up her engages. And you have Acadian trying to steal this Mountain Dragon,
This
but
first drag actually means a lot for Team Liquid.
Yeah, this is automatic. If they get this, boom, automatic tread there. Now they have Baron tread, like disgusting Baron tread that they can match the Callista with because now they can just melt it.
hmm
Now they
Yeah.
can just melt it because of the changes in the dragon. But yeah, you see, like kind of like what do you do? What's the win condition? And as I'm saying that, they're literally going for like the only win condition. The only win condition at this point now is getting fixed into potentially getting something because their siege is not as strong. The problem here now is that now they're
Getting getting
trying
caught
to
on the bot
overforce.
side. Very
Yeah,
aggressive. I don't know why he's actually counter jungling here.
I
He
mean,
has no
it's just because this is what you start facing once like the composition start like you're as TSM at this point now you are forced to start like because of the composition, you know, you have to force stuff because if you just wait and you wait, you're just gonna die and you're gonna lose the game. That's it because like at this point it's no longer
a playable
TSM
game.
yeah, it's not. Even though it looks like the game is not over, this game, as long
Yeah,
as
this
Team
game,
Liquid
yeah,
just keeps,
just
it's already over. It's already over because
Yes.
the composition has gotten to the point where they're, as long as they play their team size correctly and they play and they play towards what they have to do, they're just gonna win every team fight, just like here. You know, I really like also what Double Lift there did there because he knew there was a threat of the dragon, so he just auto attack it too. Lifesteal gets aggro off, and immediately because LeBlanc is trying to chase him, then the dragon starts doing aggro into the LeBlanc. Super smart. I really like how this guy thinks, you know, because also with the red he just keeps on going and starts getting that lifesteal. It's super smart play there because you know, and then what I think Acadian was trying to do there was actually to hit it on the bearers because if he can burst it, then all of a sudden now they can go because if you kill the bearers and if you kill Jensen, you know, on the Syndra, all of a sudden it's a winnable fight. But it's just a problem because now you also have to start dealing with Impact, who has now he has Executioner's Calling, not that, but he has
yeah. Notice
Mortal.
how Double F opts to get a hex stringer. This is a really good
Yeah,
Against the double AP
because he knows that.
composition.
Yeah, he knows that they're calling for him. He knows that he's on. So, and this is one thing, you know, like I always talk to people, especially in solo queue, if you're a laner, like unless you're like Vladimir here, I don't like his build. I don't like his build because I don't like his boots. I think his boots are incorrect
Yes.
because the penetration is not gonna be enough. Whereas if you can just hold off and survive to get to your next rotation of spells is gonna be a lot better. It's just kind of like why I tell people like it's better potentially to start like on a Jarvan, for example, for jungle. Don't go for Guardian Angel. Go for Sterak. Get to another rotation. Get that shield, you know, so that you can potentially do something, right?
Yes.
As a laner, same thing. You should not be going, especially if you're ahead. If you're ahead and you go for defensive boots of the biggest threat on the enemy team, right? You're gonna be in good shape because that just means you can survive more. You can get to your next rotation of spells. You can do more DPS as an AD carry, and that's what you should be thinking about. You know, you should not be thinking about how I can get like how I can get my next boots to get a little bit more attack speed, bro. You're running lethal tempo. You're gonna have a lot of attack speed no matter what. You don't need that, you know. And it's just like optimizing because look at this now. Double lift, 3 items, almost 300 farm. He's set. This game is over. This game is
yeah.
already over.
Really over. He finished that Mog, so like Picking him up is almost impossible for the LeBlanc or the Vladimir.
Right now, it's
Yeah,
just pick
because
your poison for TSM.
yeah, because and that's the cool part about like itemization in the boots because if they have like what Double Lift has is he has the capacity to DPS safely, life steal, protection versus AD, and protection versus AP, and
Hmm.
he has a team that can provide him all the peel that he wants and the capacity to do a CC that if they're together, which they're kind of forced to try to get to him based on the composition they're picking with the super aggressive Kalista and the LeBlanc, when they try to go for him, all he has to do is just press one button and then he can just start life stealing. And because of his choice of items, he will survive, he will kill them. The passive on barriers will proc, and then you're just not going to have a good time.
So basically, what you're telling me right now that double lift on this Varus right now, he has the potential to do infinite damage in a team fight.
Pretty much. I mean, look at his composition. I mean, how are you going to get to him at this point?
That's
He
impossible.
has
Yeah,
double defensive item. He has double defensive item. Solari's already finished on the Tom Kench. The
and
Tom
he gets
Kench
that
also
healing
gives
from
you,
the mob pass if he gets
and the Guardian.
Right.
Plus
And
having
the
the Tom
Guardian.
Kench itself on it, plus having the Tom Kench all this Kana, like both of them just press one button and he's safe. He's safe either by dragging the threat away or he's safe by displacing double lift and putting him in a safer position of double lift's favorite choice. So double lift is like the VIP guest over here, and this is his game.
Yeah, Core JJ is like doing a really good job of by getting double built up this fast.
Yeah, and he sacrificed at the beginning of the game. You can see how it pays off now. He knows that it's okay for him. It's okay for him to like, oh my god, double mountain, tasty,
The,
so tasty. And look at that. Like they have to contest this. They have to. They
oh,
don't have a choice.
Smithy with the smite,
And look at that. They're gonna go for that. Double lifts all the way in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
broken
everybody, you see
blade.
how Jensen keeps on peeling towards the double lift, and he just look at that. Boom. Now they're gonna start just killing everybody. It doesn't matter. Like this doesn't matter now.
Yeah,
Just because they're so far ahead.
this
They're so
was
far ahead now.
this was a very good flank from Broken Blade, but it was really looked really useless. The game is over at this
Because of
point.
itemization. Yeah, because of itemization. That's
Hmm.
what I was telling you. Once he finished that other item with them all, with the double defensive item and the boots, the game is already over. Because as long as they play and kite back towards it, think about just Varus himself. Ultimate, E, grievous wounds built into the kit of him, and he's fine.
Yes.
Like he doesn't do that much damage, and now it's just but
Core
no,
JJ.
Core JJ saving
yeah, and now they're gonna go for him.
And look at this dive.
Oh.
TSM really trying to get the Varus to die over there, and they finally get the mid lane turret.
They're burning everything for this Varus. They need to.
But see, that the problem is that now you also have to deal with the problem of
Team Liquid.
Yeah, the game happening, in like the mid condition.
Yeah.
LeBlanc losing to Syndra.
It's just a matter of time before Double Lift gets one more item and he gets to finish this game off with the company of his teammates. You can see that there is some gold kinda considered wasted. Well, here's the replay again. You can see Broken Blade trying to initiate, dying from it. But then Vladimir gets to crit him. Oh, he
I
hits
think
the
Team
Tom
Liquid
Kench.
here didn't respect correctly what they had to do because they just run a lot of summoners.
This engage here.
Yeah, and you see everybody's starting to come over here, but they're gonna be late to the rotation because TSM understands what they have to do. TSM is smart to say, hey, we need to kill this guy, and
He's gonna be in a splitting position now with that TP over Broken Blade. That engage, so this is really good. They need to force this Baron here. If they don't, then
If they did not get this Baron right now, it's really difficult. TSM asking them to come over here, asking the challenge. Smithy is ready for this. You have the Kalista.
Kaden getting chunked hard. This is actually really bad.
Oh.
He gets suppressed first too. Yeah.
Because you see how they are. How look at that, like the chains of corruption. How much they did with that.
Yes.
Because everybody is forced to be there. And it's like, well, thanks for the leash, bro. I appreciate it. Like literally, that's what they did. They just literally leashed it, and because it's like they didn't have a choice, and now they come back and they burned so much on the last team fight to try to get him that it's like, well,
yeah, they could have. They should have forced the Baron immediately and not wait for this for TL to respawn back since they did.
But the issue is that they were not in the position. Yeah, but the issue was after the dive on double lift, they were really not into position. Smoothie didn't have enough HP to continue for a Baron fight, and meanwhile, Team Liquid still had all of their cooldowns up after Varus was killed. So even if they killed Varus, they still couldn't deal with Team Liquid's team members, they have Impact and Syndra. They're not champions that you would like to ignore, especially when you have low HP. Syndra can just start the combo with her ultimate, then ease to stun all TSM members, at least two of them, because
Yep.
you have
And
three
and and
spheres.
and
Yeah. Now
Smith,
this.
it can be the front line as well as Jensen because Jensen did opt to go for another defensive item with the Banshee's Veil. So it just further helps him out to be able to protect the DPS and provide safety there. Because this is the other thing, if he keeps on alive and now the Vladimir, now it's an issue because now Jensen can efficiently tank both the Syndra and the Vladimir just enough time to put enough orbs that you can now pick another potion. Do you want to get executed by a Jensen ult, or do you want? But look at how much damage Bjergsen now does on double it. Barely anything, and he still got a really good flank there and a really good. He was in a good position, but everybody's putting to, and then again they go for the core JJ. He's in a good position. They cannot do anything, and now they're in a nice little 4-1 spot. Just take a little team reset. Let's do the ping check, guys. Make sure that everybody buys their pings, and then next play. What do we want to do here? We already took that one, so we probably want to go into our 1-4 mid top just to take that next one.
They can
This
even
one
let
right
you go
here is
for
what
one
Seal
three
said.
one here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think if you want to go. I don't think you want to go for a 1-3-1 in here. I think you want to stay. You want to stay 4-1 because the GP wants to be by himself potentially. Maybe, but you don't want the Syndra by herself because anybody can get picked off.
Yeah.
The Syndra, if she's by herself, she can get picked off. But if the Syndra, the Skarner, the Tom Kench, and the Varus are together, you're not gonna pick them up. They have more than enough to be able to peel back together, and the GP is self-sustainable enough and safe where they can just do that. So I don't. If they go into a 1-3-1 position here, they're just giving TSM the capacity to potentially come back into the game. Now it comes into Elder, and this is another. This is a point in the game where potentially TSM can do something, and they're forced to take this. Otherwise, if Team Liquid takes it, then now they can force a very big team fight, and the game should end there.
And this is now TL is in a situation where they cannot do anything wrong right here. There is no wrong play for TL right now. It doesn't matter what they
This is a
do.
wrong play. This is a wrong play. Just like separating themselves, putting their bot lane there, because like they're trying to make them pick, but now in a position where they can potentially, if TSM was all there together, they could have potentially picked this three up here.
Yeah.
If they would have stayed there in that one, because Double Lift and Core JJ were trying to take inhibitor there, right?
Yes.
And if TSM would have just committed, but TSM did not decide to go for one or the other, and instead they chose to look for two flanks, which again gave Team Liquid the capacity to get both the inhibitor and now with the pick, now they can get Elder for free. Now they have inhibitor down.
And now they
Now
deal true
Gangplank's
damage.
ultimate is back off. Now the 4-1 is even easier. And it's like, all right, the next Baron. When is the next Baron gonna come up? And if not, we can just do it, or we can just force us 5 and be together because we're fine. And literally look at what they're doing. They're going as 5 together because they have pressure on mid. And if they don't fight here, they lose double. They lose double inhibitor into Baron, into and then through top. And or if they try to fight here and they don't kill them, then it's just gonna be a bad situation because they lose 2 and they're forced to fight, which is probably why they're 5 together here because they also have
Yeah. There
GP
is
ultimate.
no. Yeah. They can't make.
Broken Blade goes for the
Oh, look
flank.
at
Let's see
that.
how this will
Good
go.
flank.
Yeah,
LeBlanc chains combos the Smithy. Galio comes to protect him, exhausted by
My
Core
God,
JJ.
doesn't do anything.
double lift, man. Look at that guy. You see?
Yes.
You see how they went for him? Do you see those tab eyes save his life right there?
Yes.
Those tab eyes. Do you see how literally that's the only thing they can do? Game over.
And
There's
there's
nothing you can do here.
this is the end card. Sven's trying to cut one more time, and this is
Nice
the
for the
ace.
Twins.
Good night. And it's going to be 2-1 for Team Liquid.
2-1 for. Yep.
I didn't like that engage from Broken Blade. I think it was a good opportunity, but he should have waited his rotation out rather than try to go in. But
I also think that the ult from Smoothie was not as clean as it could have been.
yes, could have been a bit earlier to save in the Vladimir to help him hold his ground a bit. So right now we're going to go into game number 4.